Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTube Ronin. And I would like to welcome you to tonight's episode of the Mystery Movie Night podcast. I see we have some friends already joining us in the chat. FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Enigma Severus. All right. I'd like to say hello to everyone currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Logical Spark has joined us. And I also see that there are a few people lurking. Quite all right. You don't have to engage with the chat. Just as long as you enjoy the show. Hit the like, share out the stream. And if you are new to my channel, or those of my fellow panelists, please subscribe. Megan the Texan is here. All right. So without further ado, the reason why we're all really here, a woman who used a lot of graphic language backstage, and please stop.
I'm feeling really horrible. Like, what a terrible person I am. It's awful.
Off the cover.
Oh, hello there, YouTube land. Oh, that's all I had to say.
And Kyle Corveth.
I'm wearing the jacket that the main character from this movie we are reviewing stole.
Oh, that's right.
It's close. It's not exactly.
It is very
but
close,
it's
though. Yeah, that's right.
I had it before the movie. I've been wearing these.
To be fair, he didn't steal it.
He borrowed
They
it.
swapped it.
But does the audience know what movie we're talking about?
Oh, that's true.
Deleted will do the honors.
Yes. Hey, Clue.
Alrighty. Well, hello to Clue Studio. And, well, as it turned out, we were correct in our guess. Once again,
Yep.
Novocaine, starring not Dennis Quaid, not
like
Jack
Sun.
Nicholson, and
Nepo baby.
Chick Fry.
Yeah,
I have a
this
little joke I would like to say, but it's not entirely a joke actually. Novocaine, starring 3 young up-and-coming stars in other territories, known as Novocaine, starring nepotism.
It's true.
Yeah.
Who are the other nepotism babies?
The Mid Thunder, whatever her name is.
Oh, she's a Nepo
she has
baby?
parents that are in the industry as well.
Oh,
You got
okay.
Jack Quaid, Ray Nicholson. Is his name?
Who was that? Was that his friend?
Yeah, it's Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son,
Wait.
As the villain. Yeah.
Simon.
Oh, that was it.
Oh,
No
wow.
wonder his face looks so familiar to me.
It's the beard.
Yeah.
The beard throws you off a little bit. I was thinking it too at the beginning. I thought, wait, is that him?
There was something about his face. I was just
Yeah.
I could not place where I'd seen those features.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay,
It's the
because
smile. It's the
he's
perfect fucking teeth and the yeah.
Are you looking at his picture? I had no idea. So Amber Midthunder, I had forgotten she was going to be in here. This movie was on my list of most anticipated. I had forgotten she was going to be in here, and then when she showed up, I'm like, "Who is this chick? She's not that great of an actor."
I didn't recognize her from.
She's from Prey.
Prey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I wasn't
No,
crazy
I did
about
my
her
research after the
there.
movie and found all this out and
Yeah.
other things with the condition, etc. But we can get into that. But for those that don't know, can I say the synopsis?
Go ahead.
I'm starting to like doing
Please,
that
Ed,
for people.
Go for it.
And I'll do it in the trailer voice.
In a world.
When the girl of his dreams gets kidnapped, a man turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected advantage as he fights a bunch of thugs to get her back.
Oh, that was so good. You should consider doing voice work, Kyle.
I know, right?
Hmm.
And that is Novocaine. Now we're going to
Yes.
talk about it.
You've probably seen the trailers. I did find myself wondering about the reality of his condition. I thought it was interesting how they showed the precautions he took, but at the same time, I wasn't sure because I don't know much about it. I just know of it. So I'm
It's
curious
real.
to hear. I
Oh,
know
it's
it's
real, yeah.
real. I know it's real. I just didn't know to what extent. Like, I honestly feel like by the time the movie was done, I feel like he would have been realistically he would have been dead.
Oh,
Because
sure.
even if he can't
Yeah.
feel the doggone
Oh,
pain,
yeah.
he lost a lot of blood in the course of this hour, 40 some minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also, yeah, I mean, most of them do, as the film said, die in
yes.
childhood. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have like an obstructed bowel, not know it, and
Not
boom,
know it.
that's it. You know, like
Yeah.
it,
The thing about
so-
the bladder, having to set his
Right.
timer for that
Mhm.
never even would have occurred. Like that just never
Yeah.
would have entered my brain. So they can't even feel that
Yeah.
sensation. Oh, it's
Well, the plus
crazy.
is when you go to the dentist, you don't have to feel anything there.
That's true. Oh, right. That don't remind me. I was at
Or,
the dentist today.
surgery.
Right?
Well, this movie felt like a root canal, so
Ooh!
Okay.
Really?
See how you
Shots
think.
fired.
We did
Uh-oh,
not
I
chat
think-
about this beforehand, so
Yeah, we don't know each other's.
I have no idea what.
Yeah,
you
this
guys-
is what's great, audience, is that we are reacting in real time to what each of us thought of it.
Mm.
We're getting into it.
Okay.
Deleted. I want to
You
hear more
started
about
it,
what
Deleted.
you think.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. I was with this movie for the first 40 minutes. And then it reached a point where it lost me and it never got me back.
Was it the twist? With
Yeah,
the-
that's what I was going to
Uh,
ask. Was it the twist?
Which
All that
twist
Amber
we're talking about.
Midthunder was playing an insufferable twat.
Oh,
Again?
well, that too. I
Um,
thought you were getting ready. Yeah, I wasn't crazy
I-
about her character.
I just it's not so much that twist occurs, it's that I didn't care that it did. Because it's like in the
Oh.
back of my mind, I already knew she's gonna make this turn somewhere because she's always a pain in the goddamn neck in everything she is in. Why is this gonna
Okay,
be any
I had
different?
the added advantage of not seeing her in anything else, so I
You
I
never
didn't
saw
see-
Prey?
No, I never saw Prey, and
Okay.
I didn't see this twist coming, which
Me-
actually
me
was a
either.
really nice surprise. So
Yeah, I
liked
did
it.
like the surprise of that.
mhm.
But I'm with Deleted. I was not. I didn't know at the time that I watched it. I didn't remember that that was the actress from Prey, and I didn't really
Mhm.
care too much for her in Prey, and I wasn't overly in love with Prey. But there was like her character and the way she played her, and I just didn't think she was that great of an actor, and I just didn't care too much for her character. And then when I realized who it was, I was like, oh, maybe that's why. Maybe it's just her. I don't
Yeah.
click with her. Maybe.
I think she did fine in Prey, and I think she does fine. The problem here is that the script wants us to sympathize with this character, Sherry,
Mm-hmm.
when she has been an accomplice to murders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Spoilers, y'all. Sorry. We
Yeah,
just got right into
Where
it.
I'm
Without
gonna
any
put
warnings.
I'm going to put the
Sorry.
spoiler.
Sorry.
That's
because,
Kyle's fault.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
You-
I'll
you
do
have
the
to-
British version. Somebody do the Canadian version. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, you have to do it like Keira Knightley. Sorry. I can't do the T. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm making fun of Keira Knightley. She's a perfectly good actress. She just has a certain mannerisms.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We are prepared to spoil the shit out of this movie, folks. I know I am.
And that
Um,
usually happens when we don't like a movie as much, audience. Yes.
Yeah, because it's like go see it. I'll be upfront. I didn't outright hate this film, but I wasn't. It wasn't Love Hurts. It wasn't on the level of Love Hurts for me, but I wasn't super in love with it. And what kept coming to my brain when I was thinking about, whenever I write it down, is fun but forgettable. That's just kind of how I feel about it.
I would probably disagree with that. I actually had fun with this movie.
I did too, but it's not like something I want to return to again and again and again.
Here's
That's
how
what
you
I
should,
mean.
Here's how you should look at it. Or sorry, I don't mean to
No, go
push
ahead.
buttons.
Mansplain
better
to me,
look at
Paul.
Mansplain. No, no, no.
Look at it this way.
For the entire time, I was like, is this based on a DC because I never read DC comics. Is this based on a comic book at all? Is this based on a book? So after the movie, I was Googling around, couldn't find anything. And it's actually like an original concept. And so since Hollywood is so bereft of ideas that they have to do sequels, remakes, they completely lack originality. And I've been ranting about this for 3 years almost. It's nice to see original content like
Something different, yeah.
So I don't know. And it was like overall it was fun. Jack Quaid was just playing Huey from The Boys just with a superpower.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, like how every fucking performance that he does that I've said the same thing as that.
Yeah,
he
I mean,
plays the
He
same
doesn't
type of-
know how to play anything else but a stammering, bumbling beta. And that's what you're in for, audience. If you want to go see Jack Quaid pull that off again, where he says ums and uhs more than Michael Cera ever could, you're in for a real treat.
Well, he's the new Adam Brody. Like if they remade the OC,
No,
it
not
would
even
be
that
with
good.
him.
He went a little against typical type with his character in Scream and also Companion.
Yeah.
But he does play it with the same mannerisms, always.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know that those ums and uhs and interjections are not in the script. He's adding that shit.
Maybe because
we
he's
probably
forgetting the lines and
maybe, or maybe he's trying to make it sound more natural because that's how people talk in general.
He's trying to be like Jeff Goldblum on crack.
Oh well,
without the confidence.
I wouldn't go so far as Jeff Goldblum, but
you know what I'm talking about with the ums and the uhs.
Yeah.
Oh, because Jeff Goldblum plays that sort of bumbly type of awkward character.
Sometimes, but that's the thing is minus the confidence and charisma, because Jeff Goldblum has his own thing of yes, and then we're gonna do that. Yeah. So that's a different personality. With Jack Quaid, he's just doing this nervous energy it's not charming, it's off-putting to me, and it's so repetitive in every role that he does.
Maybe if he only did it like for one role and then he went outside of that range.
A couple, sure. I mean, and at the twist of Scream 5 is that he's one of the killers and his attitude does change. Okay, so
spoiler, Kyle. To those of us that have
been out for like 7 years, hasn't it?
It's been a while.
So that's a nice change.
And Nora killed Dewey.
That's a nice change of pace. And the additional thing, so you have those things that he could adjust. He could also adjust his facial expressions, which are consistently, if he tried, because I'm looking at a picture in the cast list and he's doing the face I'm about to do, where he consistently does this smiley or in the middle of listening somebody face. It's
yeah. But I think that's his mouth shape. Given the fact that he's
his resting face is not that.
It's pretty close to Dennis Quaid.
It's kind of, I was getting ready to say it's very similar to the way Dennis Quaid smiles when he smiles. Yeah,
yep.
Very, very close.
I mean, they are related.
I don't think that. I think Dennis Quaid has a handsome smile and face.
When he looks devilish, he has a Jack Quaid smile.
Yeah,
slightly, but Dennis Quaid never does that.
In what's sorry, now I'm forgetting the son's name. Jack Quaid. In Jack Quaid's defense, I think that he was the better of the rest of the cast. And one scene in particular, which I was like commenting right after the movie, where to me it felt so clunky in the warehouse scene between I forget her character's name and her brother. It just it was so clunky. It felt like worse than a soap opera. I don't know whether it was like poorly written script or poorly executed or both, but to me that was the clunkiest part of the film.
You talking about with the wait? Are you talking about with the car? Not
no.
the
Before then, when it's just the chick and her brother in the warehouse.
Well, that was at the very, very end, right? Where they were fighting.
It was strewn throughout.
No, before Jack Quaid even shows up. It's just
that's at the car shop, like the auto body shop.
Car shop, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. I guess it was. I don't have the cast list. I guess it was Jack Nicholson's son and
Ray. His character's name is Simon.
Simon. Yeah, and what's the chick's name?
Sherry.
Cherry, that's right.
Cherry, right, because it's close to Cherry. Okay.
Right. And so that was, for me, the clunkiest acting of the entire movie, which kind of almost elevated, by default, Jack Quaid's performance. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Speaking of Jack Quaid, Lady V. Ostanes. Yeah, my eyesight's not great. I disagree with part of this. She said Dennis Quaid is punchable. I would apply that to Jack Quaid's face, which he gets punched a few times, so it's not bad.
He does quite.
And it's glorious whenever he gets punched.
Yeah. So deleted based off of that comment.
I can tell. Yeah, he's
you
not
are.
A fan.
You don't like him either. Not a fan.
No, because if he's just going to play these like beta cucks all the time, then no.
Yeah,
I'm tired of that. That's my main problem with this movie. Is I am tired of these beta cucks simping after these women. He should want nothing.
I mean, we've all been there.
I'm tired of nihilism as comedy. This movie is not funny.
It has moments. It has moments that made me and Megan burst out laughing. So we'll get to that.
My crowd was laughing quite a bit.
Yeah, I want to hear what else you had to say, Delita.
Yeah, this movie is a tropey mess. We've seen this. This is Deadpool. This is Deadpool light. So what? What's who cares? I am tired of these movies that throw in all the violence, throw in all the F-bombs. We're oh so fucking clever, and look what we can do, and look what we can say, and let's bring out the same old people. Let's bring out the Jack Quaids and the Michael Cera's and the Jay Baruchels. And I half expected Seth Rogen to show up in the middle of this thing.
That actually, that's a thought. If they were to go all the way with that, that would be the kind of the collection of all the beta actors that have no muscle tone to them. Actually, Jack Quaid kind of working on his chest apparently. So he looked, but weirdly, his chest, his shoulders. I'm getting into minutia here. I don't care. When he has a shirtless scene after they sleep together, he wakes up in the morning after we saw his chest, and it's he's got a good chest going, like he's working on himself. But then you see when he's lying on his side, his shoulders look like he's just sticking out bone when he's on his side, and there's no muscle build to that. It was like, what, dude?
He's working on it, Kyle.
Dude, he's got to do more. He's got to do some arm raises there and shoulder raises. What is he talking about? What is he doing?
Or he just has to take steroids like every other Hollywood actor.
Or he might have a body type that's a little more difficult.
Yeah, that too.
To build muscle.
No, he's got the chest. He's been able to build that. Something he's not working on. I that's my interpretation.
Maybe he just built up the chest for this scene.
That's what my theory is. He knew that this would be showcased, and there is advice that has happened in the past with Sylvester Stallone saying, giving advice to young actors, don't work on your legs or your forearms, just work on your upper body because that's what's going to be seen. All right, that's what's going to be seen. So I think that
never skip leg day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
leg
agree,
day's
and
important.
legs are actually very healthy for you and your longevity. Everyone, just so you know. Anyway,
Squats
tangent aside.
Better place.
Tangent aside, Quaid is, I wouldn't say beta, and
I wouldn't say that either.
I wouldn't say beta, but his performance, rather, okay, let me correct myself. I wouldn't say simping. I don't think he was necessarily simping after Sherry, but I do think his performance is beta. Okay, so I know initially I said beta. I'm correcting myself because I was saying
so I mean,
simping.
To
I
me,
think
I don't think he was beta or simping. He's just a dude, a clear virgin, because he could never, he just was happy playing his video games because he was too afraid of getting hurt. And so he sees this chick, he's pining after her. Dude, we've all been there. I've been there multiple times. Where I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could go out with her.
Well, if anything, the setup of his condition makes the way he acts a bit more realistic.
Exactly.
And which is why also something that I do feel like works in the film's favor as far as this motivation he had to try to save her. We see this buildup of the progression. It was quick, but you can see how quickly he fell for her because he always liked her, and then she gives him attention, and then he's just like he's so enamored with the fact that because he'd been deprived of this for so long because he'd sheltered himself. And so when this event happens, I could buy into his reasoning for why he tried to go after her.
Do you think he was a virgin?
Probably.
I feel like he was, but I had a question. Yeah. I had a question. Kyle, you did research, so I'd like to know the answer to this. Okay, Chibi.
Yes, I've done research on that, yes.
Okay. So, I was just confused. How could he feel pleasure if he can't feel pain? Is that possible? I honestly
Well, he was asked that in the scene,
but I want to know how true is that really?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that because I happened to do the research on probably the writers looked up these videos of these segments on actual news, 60 Minutes, yada, yada, these individuals that have this condition, abbreviated SIPA. You can look up the yada, yada, the full term for it. And they have these subtle perceptions. It's not completely gone. Okay.
Is there
one of the young women said that they couldn't feel the extreme side of hot and cold, but they felt something from their senses still, and they could feel kisses. Okay, so their parents, obviously, like parents kissing them. So given that it's not completely shut off, but there are the extremes. It seemed, based off of the interviews that I saw, was that that's just it. The extremes they couldn't feel of pain. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, Jack Quaid making out with Sherry. He could probably feel something.
Okay.
Probably not to the degree of a person with normal sensories, but yeah, he could feel something.
Is it enough to be able to have a normal type of relationship? That's like, because I am completely clueless as far as how, all the intricacies of this type of condition.
Well, a lot of them don't make it past childhood, so there's that.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Some of the interviews are actually pretty brutal. The one moment in the investigative journalism that we're interviewing her parents, and at this point, the subject was very young, and they were focusing on a story where she was just a baby, wherein she would scratch or bite on her fingers and then use her fingers themselves. At one point, they had doctors so shut her eyelids, wouldn't scratch her cornea. And you know what that baby did? She pulled her eye.
Oh no! Oh God! Okay.
But she survived. She's not as far as the interview. She got to her like her teenage. The thought, yeah. When you look at the current interview of when that was released, she has the physical consequences of that. You can see that she has some kind of a divot in her tongue. She kind of talks a little bit like that, and her eyelids are uneven because of probably that incident. So,
Shit.
yeah. And I think this movie would have done well to give Jack Quaid some scars on his face to show the consequences of what happens with people who have this condition. And he talks about at one point, it's kind of weird how he reacts when they're in a diner at the beginning of the film and she offers him pie.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, no, like he almost has a,
Yeah.
a mentally unstable moment. And all it means is he doesn't eat solids because he's worried about biting his tongue. And it's been that way for his whole life. And that's based on these segments that I watched from actual journalists. And which gives me the implication that the screenwriters watch the exact same videos and put that into the video. I mean, listen, people, it's not that hard to do research and inject it into stories and write your own scripts, etc. Like, we're all capable of it. So anyway, the moment in the diner, he says that, and he can't bite solid foods because he's worried about his tongue. They, I think, should have had something physical on his face, whether it be maybe it was a speech impediment of some kind because he had bitten his tongue before. Something I think they could have done with his, maybe one of his eyes was a little droopy or something. Pull some inspiration from those videos from 60 Minutes, etc. that I saw. Other than that, I mean, when you look at the film, he's got a ripped chest. He's got these tattoos that look like he went to the Memento guy, Leonard, and he put those tattoos on him. Or the terrible tattoos from the new recent Crow movie. It kind of looked like that, actually. So yeah, I think they could have applied some of that, some physical consequences.
Do you think it would have worked better as like a documentary on those kinds of people, or like just a subject piece rather than like an action comedy?
No, I think this is a good idea. I think this was a good concept to do. And reminds me a little bit of Hardcore Henry, which I wasn't a fan of. I just remember some aspects of it, mostly the visual first-person nature of it.
My brother reminded me today when I was telling him what the mystery movie was. He reminded me of Kick-Ass. Didn't he say one of the characters in there had that where he couldn't feel pain. But the premise of this was what attracted me to it. I'm glad I did not absolutely hate it. And I did have, there were fun moments. There was laughter. There was a lot of cringing and grimacing because of the injuries. But it's not something that I've just like, wow, I really, really enjoyed that. That's going to be on my top 10. It's not going to be on my top 10 list. But it's not going to be on my top 10 worst either.
My biggest oh fuck moment was when the guy had the swastika tattoo on his.
Oh yeah.
I was like out loud. I'm like, oh fuck.
Just because he had the tattoo on his neck?
Yeah, I don't know. It popped out. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
So
it seems stereotypical to me.
Yeah, very stereotypical.
Which is fine. This is fine. It's like, oh, we're gonna go
there.
It's always back to Indiana Jones.
So like, whatever happens
the
to
bad
this guy,
guys, Nazis,
gonna be
don't
warranted.
have to develop anything.
Yeah,
you're already okay with them being killed off.
Yeah.
So I have a question, and this involved the gun and the oil thing. Would that gun have really still worked?
I thought that and questioned that, and then I didn't move further on with that. But it is a very good question. Because I never looked it up either.
It was just a question I had. Like,
could
the gun really still
bullet coming out?
Say what?
Although it might not. So the firing mechanism might not fire because it wouldn't be able to spark, given that it was wet.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Was that oil very flammable? So once you pull that trigger, maybe your whole fucking hand might.
That too. Yeah.
Which would have been cool, right?
It was cooking oil, though. Would that really be flammable? I don't know.
Cooking oil is flammable.
Is it really? I've never had an issue, so I had no idea.
Yeah. No. That's why, like, there's all these regulations for like industrial kitchens
Okay.
Yeah, like the hood and above the whatever to
Yeah. Okay. So
not fan the flames or whatever.
So that was definitely not that was one, even though the way it happened was, and of course when the
Yeah.
guy died and everybody's like, "Ooh," and then kind of like laughter, but I wish it had been a different type of weapon. Maybe a knife
There
he
is
stabbed him with.
there is a
something.
back and forth on that because there's actually in the third season of Twin Peaks, in one of the later episodes, there's a similar situation where a gun is placed in cooking oil like that, and Kyle MacLachlan says, "Y'all best stand back. I don't know if that ammo's going to go off or not." So I guess it kind of depends on who you ask.
There was a movie,
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, there have been a couple of movies that have done. It's like
Yeah,
Sudden Death with Van Damme has a bit like that. And
wasn't I want to say in the original Red, was Bruce Willis in that? I forget. Whatever. There was a scene in a movie. I want to say it's Red, but one of the characters puts bullets in a frying pan and turns the skillet on to be able to like scare people thinking there's gunfire.
These are questions that if my mind had lingered on them, I would have called the local, gun shop and asked these questions. Or actually, I do have a friend that is.
Yeah.
What's that?
You
said there's that.
There is this.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah. But there's something else that happens later that I want to call BS on. But go ahead.
Okay. I think I feel like I know, but.
Let's get to that because I was just saying I had a friend who has firearms. I have a nephew who has firearms. I could have called and asked him, in advance, but didn't linger. Anyway, what was the moment?
Yeah.
Brandon Herrera will be joining us next week. No, kidding. He's a 2A guy. He's cool. Anyway.
I know who he is.
Shout out Brandon Herrera. Yeah. One thing I want to call BS on is in the in the tattoo parlor where he stabs the guy basically in the armpit. I don't care how big you are.
The fact
you
that
are
he
bleeding out. You are bleeding out within
right in the armpit, so it could have like punctured his lung or any number of like vital. I don't know.
That's what I thought had happened, but when he pulled it out, it seemed to have gone.
Maybe into the bone?
I
felt like blood kind of like came out when he pulled it out.
Through his armpit, not totally into the center, but kind of off to the side and out of his arm, like over here.
Okay.
I think that's how it went, but they weren't very clear with that. So
yeah, I thought for sure that was a lethal wound when it happened. I was like, okay,
yeah, it could have been
how he dies.
It could have been. Yeah. So, but that's a good point in terms of what could have happened. Lung punctured. He's over and done with.
Oh, wait. Go back to that Enigma Severus comment. Red is scientifically accurate in all that it does. LOL. Mythbusters needs to check it out. Nice.
Yeah. They might have already.
Yeah, well, the difference is that actually was based on a comic book, and this movie is trying to be a comic book, which is one of the problems with it.
Actually, so no, I think that's one of the good things about it because it's original. It's not trying to adapt anything. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. We're actually getting original work. Like that's all I ever wanted. I'm sick and tired of remakes and sequels and adaptations. Just do something new. And this movie did it. So I'm a happy camper with it. It has its flaws, like the acting was clunky in that one scene, like I mentioned. And I guess you can make an argument for every character having something bad, except for what's that guy's face? Jacob Batalon. I thought he added a lot of levity and like
Is
humor.
That the cop?
No, the
the friend.
I'll get to the cop. But
the kid from the Spider-Man Tom Holland movie.
Yeah. Which I honestly I like him. He provides that comedic relief in every movie he's in. The cop, I do take issue with his performance because that's Matt Walsh. He's been in stuff
not Daily Wire's Matt
not
Walsh.
Daily Wire Matt Walsh, but another Matt Walsh. He was like the doctor in The Hangover. He was on Veep, which he was hysterical on Veep, and his performance felt like very stern, very serious, where he in every other one of his roles is like the snarky, sarcastic character, and he didn't really have that, which I guess it's good practice for him as an actor, but I don't know. I prefer to see him be the snarky, sarcastic guy.
So you prefer him to play the same type of person, whereas with Jack Quaid, that's an issue?
I didn't say it's an issue with Jack Quaid.
Oh, not you, but the others. The others have an issue. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
because one person is excelling at it and the other isn't.
Jeff Goldblum plays the same character all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Jeff Goldblum plays Jeff Goldblum in every movie.
Yeah, and then you examine, are they doing it well or are they not?
So in this case, you guys just think that Jack's not doing it well.
I think I would have preferred a different actor. I mean, kind of the go-to age range of an actor that I think is underrated, that isn't cast in movies such as this, is Dylan O'Brien. I would have wanted to see Dylan O'Brien in this movie.
Yeah, he's the dude from Teen Wolf, right?
Yeah.
I like him. He could have done a really good, because he's got great comedic physicality and facial expressions and timing and everything. He would have been fantastic in this film.
I think he has very relatable charisma. Yep. He's very likable. There's a movie that I'm a big fan of that nobody has seen that's in the vein of John Hughes called The First Time, where this was done like 10, 11 years ago. And it was written and directed by the son of Lawrence Kasdan. Jonathan Kasdan wrote and directed it. And it's about a young man at the end of a party at night in high school who meets this girl out in the alleyway, and they strike up a conversation, and the next couple days is when the movie takes place, and it's them navigating this new relationship, and they have sex for the first time, and it's done in this very gentle way. It's talky in a way that is Richard Linklater-esque mixed with John Hughes. So I really like him in that, and he excels a lot in that, film. Check that out. And again, it's an underrated film that nobody has seen. So I do think that Dylan O'Brien, and he's doing these films recently that he's kind of doing quirky stuff, and they're not really straight stuff or leading, kind of supporting stuff. He's relegating himself to that, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because American Assassin was not a hit as it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care. I still think he's a legit actor that they should.
Agreed.
Quaid? Jack Quaid? Really?
So I'm not.
This is sorry, but I need to emphasize this. This is proof that nepotism is winning out over a superior actor.
Yeah. So I'm going to actually mirror some of that, because I'm looking at Dylan O'Brien's filmography here. And in the movie Saturday Night, which I actually very much enjoyed, he played Dan Aykroyd. And I do remember, I'm like, yo, who is that actor? Because he played Dan Aykroyd like to a T. Same with the guy who played Chevy Chase in that movie. So yeah, like for sure, he would have been better in this role.
Yeah.
I don't think that Dylan O'Brien has any connections. Like, he didn't start off in the movie industry with connections. He started off as a YouTuber. If you didn't know that, he started off doing goofy videos on YouTube.
Really?
And then he still has it up.
Oh my gosh, I did. Yeah, before Teen Wolf?
Yes. He has a YouTube. And then recently, like 5 or so years ago, because he had laid dormant after he became successful in the movies, and then he went back and did a parody video of himself about how he's not getting jobs and he's doing these auditions, and he's like a day in the life of Dylan O'Brien. He's in the car, he's in his house doing auditions and being ridiculous, and he's making fun of himself. He posted just one video, and he hasn't gone back to his YouTube page, but that kind of thing I appreciate, where he's aware of his roots. He doesn't look down on them. and he has a sense of humor about himself.
Oh, that's cool. I did
Yeah,
not.
I
know
don't get the
that.
sense of that with these kinds of people.
Yeah, so
like Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid to me, and oh my god, I hate to do this, like, but I do judge people like I judge covers of books. Jack Quaid looks like he's an asshole in real life. I don't know.
His appearance gives asshole vibes, or you've seen him in interviews, or
no. To me, just to me, I'm like, I wouldn't want to hang out with that guy.
I don't know what he's like in real life. I'm not
I
don't assume anything.
That's just me being superficial. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just commenting on his performances and the repetition of it and his face. It's just it doesn't work for me, and that's as an audience member a downside. Some of his moments in the movie work, but that's not because of him necessarily. Yes, some of it is in the performance, but a lot of it is in the script. Okay. And I can name a couple moments, my top couple moments in the film. And one of them is, I think the best scene in the film is the one of the robbers' houses has traps set up.
Yes.
That sequence is paced and directed very well.
Yeah.
The traps are not overly convoluted, and so that's a good thing. They make a reference how the Home Alone, the guy who owns the house is a fan of it. But the best point is when the brother of the robber, who at this point Nathan has killed, and the brother knows it, comes back to the house, ties him up, and starts torturing him. And that he doesn't reveal to the guy that he can't feel pain. Okay. But he goes ahead with it anyway, just to buy time for his friend to get there and rescue him. That whole moment of his performance pretending to feel pain works. It does work very well. And that made me laugh and smile, etc. The best moment, and this is probably more esoteric, I suppose, or more, individualistic to me and Megan. We burst out laughing when in the end action sequence, Nathan is in the back of the ambulance, and the bad guy, Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son, is driving the ambo, and they're being chased by a cop, so they can't stop it. They kind of could, but they don't. Sure. Anyway, the Jack Quaid is trying to get buy some time again and reach for a gun, and he's telling Simon, can you tell your sister just one thing for me? Yeah, what is it? What is it, motherfucker? And he says, I just need you to tell her I wish we had spent more time.
Yeah.
This is, and it's not as funny to you guys, but when it happened in the movie, we both burst out laughing because we have a back and forth where we say, you're mumbling. No, I'm not mumbling. You're mumbling. And we can't hear each other very well. So that was a big laugh out loud moment. Megan actually had to, cover her mouth because the scene was getting quieter after they stopped the ambo. So that was how funny it was to her.
Yeah, there were people that laughed in my audience when that happened as well.
Yeah, it was great. So those two moments, I think, are the best. But the thing that drags down the movie for me is the writing of the love interest, which is the anchor of the film, essentially. Sherry is supposed to be someone you need to care about because the main character cares about, but she's a bitch. She is an accessory to these murders and heists with her brother, and the way they try to get around it is by making her pouty faced after the heist when they're hiding out in the auto shop, and it's
because
unfounded.
The manager had been killed.
Yeah, and the other question that I have is, she went into getting a job at this bank to stake out the place for 4 months just for one day on a heist. What the fuck for?
Yeah. And bangs this guy to get the combination to the safe.
And then
what her being an employee at that bank added nothing. What did it add? What did I miss?
Well, it was the whole love interest was her working at the bank, and he's the assistant manager, yada yada. Would the love aspect have worked better for you had she not been in on the robbery, i.e., no twist? She was just an innocent bystander.
Yeah, because we don't know that until quite a bit into it.
Sure, but would the love interest plot point or plot line have worked better had she not been the guy's brother?
Do you want to know what I think would have worked better? I think they should have gotten rid of the relationship of them being siblings for Sherry and Simon. One, they don't fucking look alike.
They're not.
Amber,
I don't think they're biological. They're foster siblings.
They're
she
foster
was.
siblings,
I think.
yeah.
Did they say that? Did I miss that?
Yeah.
So she talked about how she'd
Fine.
been adopted.
Okay,
and
fair.
she had a brother.
Fair.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out. So then I'll take that back.
about
They
that.
explained that. Fine. Good. However, so the thing that I would have altered is don't make them connected at all. She could still be involved. Why? Why is she involved? Not by choice, by force. Why or how? Because they kidnapped somebody that she cared about. Maybe her real brother. Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't know about that until maybe at the very end when it's revealed. And flash forward back, if you will, with me to the movie Hitch. There's a moment. Just go with me on it. So there's a moment at the end when Will Smith is declaring his love to Eva Mendes. A guy comes out of nowhere from her apartment in the background, and she opens the door. He comes to the door as well, and Will Smith assumes that this is somebody that she is sleeping with now. She is together with, and the love is kaput. He doesn't give up. He goes out to the street in New York City, a New York City street, and he's still trying to convince her to be with him. She doesn't say anything. That's part of the conceit of, romantic comedy movies. You don't say the obvious things so that the movie can keep going. But he's still trying to declare his love, and it's then soon after revealed that that was her brother or her sister's husband.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
What they could have done with this in Novocaine is that at the end, Jack Quaid, his Nathan character, is devastated because he thinks that this person who has been held hostage by Simon is the boyfriend of Sherry, and she was just doing this all along to protect him and save her brother. He assumes that this is, her boyfriend. Then it's revealed, no, you could have that moment. That's just my brother. And then she fucking kisses him, yada, yada, yada. You could have that moment, which redeems her character.
Yeah.
As it is now.
She's not in on it, and she doesn't go to prison. And
she hasn't stood by willingly while other people were killed in the past.
Yeah.
Which is
and you
kind of what she was doing. Like, what was it that made her suddenly get this conscience?
You could make her, you have hints in the script earlier on. She is an actual employee at that bank, but something changes in her behavior that Nathan notices close to the bank heist occurring. She doesn't say anything, even though she wants to. If she does, maybe they're listening to her or some shit, right? Maybe she
they killed her brother or whatever, her real brother.
Right, but she wants to say something. Maybe she's over at Nathan's apartment, and she's kind of distressed, and she wants to say something, and he's asking her what's wrong, and she doesn't say anything, and she says, well, let's just have a good night. Is it okay? He kind of moves off.
I think that would work a lot better, actually.
The heist happens, and then the whole thing breaks loose, and it only happens within the same day, with the whole entire narrative of the after the heist happens, all the way till the end of the night, and then it's revealed. Okay, yeah, she was weird because they abducted her brother and they used her for access into the bank, which they needed to do more so in this movie anyway, because they needed to justify why the hell would she get a job months in advance for this heist when all they do is shove her to the ground, pretend that she's an innocent bystander, and they don't do anything with her. and they're threatening everyone else for the code, yada, yada, yada. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, that actually would work better because it gives her point of view just a more of a redeeming quality, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, it
and
makes her
that's what it
more
comes down
likable.
to. Is the point is you need to make that character likable. I still think you can create characters that are likable that are flawed, but on the whole, they need to have some kind of redeeming quality. And all they do is give Sherry shit backstory essentially for her character, and that she is an accessory to murders. She's aware of all the stuff that her brother has done, and she just keeps being involved anyway, pretending to develop some self-righteous he even mentions that. Where is this coming from? Yeah, that's a good question. Where the fuck was that coming from?
Yeah,
because
that's what I was thinking too.
Fell in love with Nathan. Yeah. Having sex with Jack Quaid is gonna make you grow a conscience.
Who knows? Maybe he can really pull it off in the sack.
That's a clip we need to clip.
Oh, that is a theory actually, because think about it. If you don't feel as much, you can last longer.
True. The cure for ED.
Oh,
brought to you by Kyle Corwith.
Someone said something about it was a joke. Someone said something about the 4 months. Geek.
Getting the vacation time. Yeah.
So she could take vacation time, pull off the heist with her brother. Yeah.
No, I think Megan, he didn't give up. I think he was like barely conscious when he was getting his head crushed. Sorry, Megan, just...
Yeah. I mean, even though he didn't necessarily feel pain, all the blood loss and all of the smacking around of stuff that was going on in his head and everything else, he's still going to, Yeah,
they pushed the limit in terms of how much his acumen can keep going and how it's not affected, essentially.
They tried to cover that up with the adrenaline, the epinephrine.
Yeah, and that was a good cover.
Yeah.
That was a good
He did it
solve
because he
to
did
that.
it twice.
Yeah.
One scene that
was Crank-esque, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I love Crank.
Crank is a better film.
Crank was a great movie.
Crank is definitely a better film.
Saw that in the theaters. Oh, fuck. I lost my train of thought now.
Take a moment. We'll be patient.
Sorry, we were talking about the adrenaline. All the damage he had and why he was not moving.
He was stuck under the tire.
Why is he immortal?
Oh, that's what I was trying to say. One scene that wasn't in the movie that was in the trailer, unless I missed it. In the trailer, you got what's his face's? What's the guy's name? Jacob Batalon saying, "Dude, you're not Wolverine." I didn't get it. Was that in the movie?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even remember that. I don't remember that.
Well, I missed the whole we're fucking foster siblings thing. So yeah, there are probably some things that I missed. So it's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. The fact that it was original.
You keep going back to the whole original thing.
Originality. It had a good plot. I mean, it's simple but good.
That's like saying, "Oh, this movie made it all the way to the end credits." It's a complete movie. Good. That's amazing. A movie that was made and completed.
But Kyle, given what we've seen over the last 15 years,
you're really traumatized.
You know what I mean? Like, yes,
you're so hungry.
The bar is
something different. Something different. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, don't get me wrong. Okay, I like originality too. I'm just saying, I am watching basically Deadpool light. I didn't see anything original in this. I knew everything that was going to happen in this movie 30 minutes before it happened.
I mean, it was a lot like the movie Nobody.
Nobody was better.
Well, yeah.
Nobody is Citizen Kane compared to this movie.
Well, at least I got to hear you, Paul, say that there was a movie better than this, so that's a bit reassuring.
I'm not saying it's the world's best movie. No, it was just like a fun movie. Like it was Look,
No, that's
my-
fair to say it was a fun movie. That's
this
fair.
is like Fast and the Furious. You shut your brain off, open your
No, okay,
stuff
that's where
potato
the
chips in your
divide
brain.
occurs. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
I
I
think
don't
this
like
is
that
probably
phrase. Shut your brain off. I never.
this is probably
I
better
don't do
than
that, man.
Fast and the Furious.
But
I
it
don't
still
ever
falls
shut
under the
my brain
category of
off. No
mental
thanks.
junk food.
The whole last 5 years are a consequence of people shutting their brains off. The past
Here's-
10, 15 years are a consequence of people shutting their brains off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with me. I don't like that phrase, shut your brain off. I don't like that. I also don't like going with low expectations.
Well, given the last 15 years of movies, my expectations are like through the basement of my building.
All right,
And that's
what
fair.
Hollywood
That's
needs
fair.
to do, what Hollywood needs to do is to wake the fuck up, plug a fucking cork in themselves, quit with this DEI bullshit. And this movie is loaded with that shit. It's in the background, but it is there.
I didn't notice it.
I don't like the anti-military slant that's in it. I don't like the fact that they have these guys associating with Yahtzees. I don't like the racist fucking cop. I am done
At the
with
end?
these kind of
At the end?
characters.
That comment she made at the
The
end.
comment is, I am not kidding you. And for the audience that don't know, so Betty Gabriel plays one of the cops. At the end, she comes into the hospital room.
Yeah.
Jack Quaid's Nathan is in
I
his
noticed
entire
that
body is in a
comment.
cast.
Yeah.
They're explaining away why he's not going to prison because he was cooperative. He helped a police officer with his gunshot wound, which I thought he died because they had a
No,
like an
she had
evidence
gotten hurt.
number
She
there.
had gotten hurt, and he helped.
Okay, so the guy he initially helped did die. And, okay.
No. That guy, because he had the tourniquet.
Right, but I might be wrong because she went to that site
that
and
other cop,
picked up
yes.
the belt, and
Yes,
thought, well,
that
did the
first-
guy
that
die?
first- yeah, in the
So that could
initially.
have been the EMT taking
Taking
off the
it
belt.
off,
There,
maybe.
exactly. So yes, you're right, and so thank you. So I'm not clear on that, but yes, that is a possibility. Anyway,
Cheers to our first responders.
amen. In the scene in the hospital, so Betty Gabriel's character is explaining that away of why he's not going to prison. She explains he did this, he did that, and this is where they just went off a fucking cliff.
Yeah, it was like there was
She
no
says-
reason to put that in
She
there.
says this, and you're also a white male banker.
Mm.
What I literally in the theater, and I don't give a shit because it's so inflammatory and unnecessary. I said out loud, fucking racist statement loud in the theater. And I was quiet the whole time, besides from the laughing in some cases, but absolutely. And then when she walked out of the hospital room, I said, yeah, get out of here, racist.
Well, there was
Yeah.
two girls sitting next to me that kept yapping throughout the whole movie, and at some point I was like, "Shh!" Like they were just like sitting right next to me. Like
Mhm.
I hate when people.
It just goes into this thought process that is absolutely ridiculous and hypocritical that people with more melanin in their skin are incapable of being racist, and it's utter horseshit.
Yeah.
And I will call that shit out every time. It's fucking. It pisses me off. This actually happened in real life. Outside of where I live, there was a truck with a flatbed, and they were moving some things out of this apartment complex that's next to me, and they were blocking the driveway. I needed to pull in my car. I'm coming to pull into my driveway, and I turn around. I go behind the flatbed. I pull it to the driver or walk up to the driver, and I just say, "Hey, you're blocking my driveway. I need to get in. That's not good. You shouldn't be doing that." And he was nice enough. And he moves it. I pull in. His friend or brother or whatever he's got a box in his hand, in his arms, and I've already pulled into the driveway. I'm about to go inside, and he calls out to me, and he said, "Well, we can't do that. You don't think that's okay?" And I said, "What? Are we still doing? Am I still dealing with this issue?" So I walk over to him, and this is a black man, and he says, "Why can't we park there?" I said, "Because you're blocking my driveway, man. You can't do that. You shouldn't. That's inconsiderate. Shouldn't do that for anyone. There's a spot over there. There's a bus stop right over there. People pull next to that over there with their U-Hauls, and they move into that apartment complex. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just go and do that." And he doesn't say anything. And I said, "You going to respond? You going to respond to that?" Moment of silence, and then he says this: "You're just saying all this because we're black."
Oh, naturally, yes, that
Yeah,
one.
of course.
I said, "Okay, I'm done here. You have a good night." I walked the fuck away.
Mhm.
That is ridiculous. I will not indulge in that shit. Okay? It's utterly ridiculous. Okay? On a whim. Just because I pointed out something that a neighbor was doing that they shouldn't be, is just and the thought of somebody accusing me of that is utterly ridiculous. I have 2 siblings that are different ethnicities that are adopted, but no one fucking knows that, and they shouldn't know that. They don't have to know that.
Yeah, but when you try to
completely
defend
idiotic.
yourself and you say some of my best friends are whatever, or I have
I
a
won't.
whatever husband.
I won't because they've already made up their mind.
But yeah, because then
Okay.
they're like, oh yeah, like racists never have friends of the opposite, whatever. It's like, okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just a distraction. It's a diversion from whatever point you were trying to make. And he had no comeback to it. So that was what he reached for. It's like
he wasn't thinking rationally.
Yeah.
And he's of the mind that this movie has, which is that black people can't be racist. It's bullshit. Anyone can be racist against someone else that with different melanin in their skin levels, yada, yada, yada.
Shouldn't be.
It's possible for them, is what I'm
saying. No. What I'm saying is nobody should be racist. Period.
Right.
Yeah, I noticed that line too. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was necessary at all.
The point is,
it's the same shit that everyone has to throw that little nugget in. So many big films these days have to do that. The Batman did it with the Catwoman character.
Yes,
these
I
rich
that when she
assholes,
said that.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah.
These rich
really?
white assholes.
There are no Asians that are assholes that are rich? Really?
Yeah.
Well, per capita, Asians are actually the most wealthy. Suck on that, fucking cunt woman.
And I had just started to like her character too. I hope you don't, Paul.
I don't.
Okay.
It was just another thing. I mean, they did everything in this movie except wink at the camera. You know, I through the whole movie, I am waiting for Ray Nicholson to go to wink at the camera. Go, here's Johnny. You know, he did everything short of that.
So the one I thought that this movie didn't have like the wokeness except for that one line.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that like
stood out to me too. Yeah,
nothing else stood out. Which if you're gonna be 99% good, whatever, I'll give you a pass. One little like unless it's like what's that movie about the Yahtzees that we saw?
The Order?
Yeah, The Order. Because then like that movie was pretty much ruined.
That thing at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Like with the Batman, that one line that
or
Catwoman
Conclave.
said. Conclave, The Order, and what was it we were just talking about? This particular one. Those things, when I think of those movies, that's what I think of. Because there's this one thing, this one moment that's like, okay, it was going okay, and then you just had to throw this nonsense in there.
But honestly, like it was so minor in Novocaine that
yeah, it was at the very, very end. But unfortunately, if I ever see it again, that's what I'll remember about that character because she said something stupid.
But honestly, like it's gonna like phase out. I'm telling you, like this whole like the dark age of cinema, we're coming out of it. There's gonna be like slight sprinklings, but we're coming out of it. I'm telling you, like we're already through the end of the tunnel. Like we'll be good. We'll be fine. We've won.
I want to say I appreciate Geek Flag's last comment there.
What was it? What did he say? Oh, I'm not.
54 years old, black man. I'll tell you this: I have
I have met way more
met
black bigots
more
than white.
black bigots than
Yeah.
white.
Especially if you don't think with the typical mindset that some people expect that a person that looks a certain way should think. People like that get treated absolutely just it's the treatment that they go through is repugnant. It's really disgusting. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
In a very famous movie line, there is no racial bigotry here. I'm not going to complete the line, but
What movie is it from?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
There is no racial bigotry here.
Oh, I've only seen that movie once. I completely forgot about that line.
I'm not going to complete the line because the rest of the line is bigoted.
Oh,
I'll get there. That's one of the films that I
proceeds
haven't
to
seen
use
yet.
every word in the
So.
book.
Kyle, you haven't seen Full Metal Jacket?
yeah. You only recently saw Godfather.
There you go. So
Not
there
that I
are
particularly
classics.
think that's terrible,
I've
but
yet
it's
to
just
get
like
to.
so many people have seen these things.
So Kyle, you and I have talked about being supremely anti-war. This is like one of the best anti-war movies you will ever see.
Nice. Okay.
It's so well written. It's so nuanced that I watched it in high school, so I didn't understand it, but the history teacher explained it to us, and I was like, oh, okay, whoa, okay, because it's two movies. Basically, it's basic training and then what happens in Vietnam, but there's concepts in both parts that tie together. That just it's so good. It's so good.
I'm gonna get there, man. It might be. I have a buddy to do it with, maybe Ben, to talk about that film over a fireside chat.
Oh, you have to, dude.
Foresee a fireside.
I got so far. I got 2 in the pipeline of plans to sit down for 2 different movies. Godfather 2 is one of them. With Ben in a couple weeks.
People have said that's like the best one. It's one of the best sequels ever.
Do you know any YouTuber veterans? Because like a YouTuber veteran would be pretty awesome to have for Full Metal Jacket. Even if it's like Iraq or Afghanistan versus like Vietnam.
Who lives nearby? I don't know. But having a veteran is a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Or somebody,
I'm sitting down. I'm planning to sit down with
cameras.
a friend who's a lawyer. He doesn't have a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
But he has the expertise of being a lawyer, and we're figuring out which movie to.
My cousin Vinny, clearly.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I know. I did
really
the poll. I did the poll, and there was some confusion there with my lawyer friend Sean. And then last Saturday we had the long form discussion of which movie, and he was kind of flippant. And ultimately decided, like I said, okay, Sean, because initially it was The Fugitive, and he didn't want to do that essentially. And I said, okay, so what movie? And then he goes this, and he goes that. Well, no, I don't want to do this. Okay, all right, sure. Figure out what movie you're passionate about. Not just that it's the best legal drama or blah 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 blah. Just one that speaks to you the most, and we'll look at that. So he has a couple choices to choose from. So that's where we're at on that.
I was trying to think of something to suggest, but I'm drawing a blank on. I mean, there's different ones that I like, but I can't think of one that would be worthy of his analysis.
I mean, I've heard from actual lawyers that the most lawyer accurate movie was My Cousin Vinny. That's what I've heard.
It is in discussion.
Lawyers, so.
And it's
what
a
about
possibility.
Liar?
That's a good.
See, that is a good suggestion because it's not just about. It doesn't take the lawyering seriously, but hearing a perspective from a lawyer of avenues in which they're talking about legalities and all that would be interesting. So in addition to just talking about a movie that you appreciate, and that's what I mentioned to Sean. I said we want to appreciate the film as well. You know, not just on the technical details.
That does it called Legal Eagle, who goes through movies and sees how.
I think I've heard of. Yeah, I think.
He's
the
cool.
remake.
He's funny.
Right. Okay. Good suggestion, Enigma.
What about A Time to Kill?
Or The Firm.
Yeah, which is A Time to Kill, apropos to
Anatomy of a Murder.
A Time to Kill would be a good one.
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry, that was my. What was that? That was our timer. But what?
A Time to Kill would be a good one. That was a great fucking movie.
Right. So these are all good suggestions, and I've written them down at this point. Like I have a bunch of. So we're just going to find out the first one we're going to do. It's not the one and done type of thing, unless our conversation like crashes and burns or something. I don't know. But we talk very well. Like I've known the guy for
Legally blonde
for a couple of years at this point, so I think our conversation could be okay, at least do well. So yeah, but we'll see. We're figuring out scheduling. But yeah, anyway, that was tangential, really hard. Now, Novocaine, any deleted? You've kind of started off talking about it, and then were there any highlights to the film?
Anything you liked?
Did you like? Yeah,
I was with it for the first maybe
first
40, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, holy shit, these two are actually being likable in a movie? That's wow. Okay, go on. And then there's just that point where it lost me and it never got back, and I just got bored, and it wasn't funny, and it was a tropey mess, and I'm seeing the things in it that I brought up earlier, and it just this movie did not work for me. I'm sorry. I know people are going to dig it. People are going to see this movie and like it. I get it. I can totally see somebody watching this movie and liking it. I'm just saying, for me, it did not work. And to answer Megan's question, I would say for me, it would probably be like a 4 out of 10. And I'm being nice, giving it a 4.
I'm gonna say for me it was maybe like a 7.5.
I would give it a 6, 3 out of 5, or 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 5.
Oh, so holy crap! I'm like the highest rating.
Yeah,
movie?
I already within 30 minutes of us talking about this, I knew the leader you hated the most. Sin, you're in the middle. I'm in the middle, and Paul, you like it the most.
Paul enjoys it the most. Yeah. Yeah,
I guess I know deleted said the shutting of the brain off, but you know what? Sometimes you need to do that. I do agree with you. I went straight from work to see this movie, so like I needed to just shut my brain off because I spent all day using my brain. So
the movies for me where I can shut my brain off are the ones that pull over the illusion well. And what do I mean by that? The illusion. Great acting, great writing, great direction, and more that it takes to make a film.
Yeah.
You can pull that off.
Those things make up for whatever issues there might be in the, the realism of whatever's happening. That's how I felt about Carry On.
Flight Risk, I just released my video on that.
Oh yeah.
And great video.
The one aspect, thank you, Plated. The one aspect of how they could have compensated for the troubles in the writing of the main character is that you cast a good actor to compensate for those shortcomings. And this is another example of the main character is written well enough. It does its job. What brings it down is the performance of Jack Quaid. When they could have gotten someone much better, like a Dylan O'Brien. Somebody, here's the thing. I was thinking about this when I was watching it. This prototype of a character is a Michael Fox-esque character. If this was made 30 years ago, or 5 years ago, in the 80s, Michael Fox would have been perfect in this role.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox. Forgot his name.
100%. But I mean, they didn't make violent movies like this back then. Not
correct. It wouldn't have been this violent, but they could have.
Because like Michael J. Fox was a very
they could have done the concept
actor.
Yeah, but if he had a time machine, and he could come over to 2015, he could have made this film. He could have been in this role and excelled very well. And this is the thing about Michael J. Fox is his stature was never an issue with him being a leading guy, a leading man, leading young man. They commented on a little bit, and they actually it was an asset to some of his roles. Where he's facing off and squaring off against Biff in Back to the Future. But it was never something that was a handicap. It was an asset.
Yeah.
Jack Quaid's performances and his face is
I mean, he's a nepo baby.
It's a problem. I think it's a handicap.
I mean, but there are some nepo babies that I kind of like Margaret Qualley.
Yeah. Or that the daughter of Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
Zoe,
what about
Zoe Deutsch or whatever her name is?
Zoe
what about
Deutsch.
Smith's niece? What the hell's her name?
Whose?
Agent Smith from The Matrix. His niece was actually pretty good.
Samara Weaving.
Samara Weaving. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she was related to him. I liked her in Ready or Not. That was a fun movie.
That was a fun movie.
Yep.
There are exceptions to Margaret Qualley as one of them, wherein she's doing projects and work that is interesting.
Yeah. I.e. the
yes,
I didn't like that movie. But
going back to the origin of why they get the opportunities is because of nepotism. It's not not a theory. That's a fact. You are seeing the proliferation of all of these young actors that are saturating the market of the business in movie making,
shutting out possibly better
actors and actresses that do not have connections. What is the rule? It's about who you know, i.e. nepotism is the key that opens the door for these people, even though they like to deny it. Jack
every industry is the same way, though.
That said that he's disappointed. I think it was Jack Quaid that put out the quote in an article that said that he's or was it somebody else? Like there's so many actors now that Patrick Schwarzenegger just put out a quote about how he's frustrated that nepotism there are claims that he's a nepo baby. You are, motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
You want to distance yourself? Do what Nick Cage did. He changed his fucking last name from Coppola because he disassociated himself intentionally from his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, for those that don't know. Okay? So when he's going on in the article, why can't people forget that I'm not a nepo baby? Yeah, you fucking are. You want to change that? Get rid of the name Schwarzenegger. Make your own fucking path. That's what Nick Cage did, and he has proven himself.
Yeah.
It pisses me off that these fuckers who are so privileged. It's not about, white privilege, blah, 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 blah. This is just practical merit versus privilege and status. This is like a class issue. And that is real. Classism exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So we are seeing that. This movie, Novocaine, is we got 3 people that are the leads in this that have connections to the industry. And that is why they are in this. That is why they got these roles. Part of it is because the filmmakers are seeking after these actors because it brings up the quality or the cachet of the film. And I understand that. I get that. But there are so many independent filmmakers and up-and-coming ones saying, I have this integrity. I am not going to compromise my vision and all that stuff. Well, you kind of are when you cast these nepo babies. So you might want to watch out about that.
Which actually makes it hard for, let's say, the one actor who's not a nepo baby, who worked his ass off, was waiting tables before he finally struck it big, was John Hamm.
Yeah.
We need more John Hamms.
How many John Hamms have been blocked out by nepo babies?
A lot. And the thing is, it's definitely not anything exclusive to Hollywood. It exists everywhere.
Oh, no, yeah.
But it's definitely it's frustrating.
It's 100%.
Right. It's all who you know. Yeah.
And if there's any sense of Kyle, you sound like you're jealous. No, I am frustrated that yes, it is me too, because I have worked in the industry. I have gone on auditions. I've started in Chicago. Okay. I know I have seen people on the sets that I've worked with get jobs just because they are associated. Their father is a main character on a TV show.
Yeah.
And that's not to disparage them personally. I don't know them. I don't know if they're nice or mean in real life. It's the avenue in which they are shutting out. And part of it is to blame on the casting directors as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're indulging in this trend of Nepo babies without making the delineation of, who else is out there? Who else could we
Well, it's
see?
because it's easier.
The directors
There's
as well.
this pile that they can pull from, and they don't even need to go on this extensive casting search. It's easier.
They're lazy.
They're lazy.
They're-
Yes, exactly.
Which is a
Yeah.
big
Bye,
problem.
Sashi.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of what I was saying, is that Hollywood has been lazy with remakes, sequels. So it's actually nice that there was something original.
Mm-hmm. I am not currently
all around.
I am not currently doing auditions as an actor, but I know people that are actors. Ben is one of them. He's doing auditions. He's a working actor, and he deserves to. He works his ass off. He loves acting, and I've seen him do these performances that I look at the show 1923,
I need to catch
and
up on that.
I saw a role that he would have been so much better for. I don't know how the actor got in, that role. It was just like an expository moment of a guy on a horse from Texas. And my friend could have done that based on merit, not because he's my friend, that's the thing. So there needs to be some holding the feet to the fire with these directors and calling this shit out, because it's not me saying, damn it, I'm not getting these roles. I'm not fucking auditioning right now. I'm not trying to be a working actor right now, but I know people that are, and I know there are people that I don't know that are. So I'm going to stick up for those people because I know what it's like. And it is really a shame that I guarantee you, there are actors out there that are not getting roles and the chances that people in the past who became stars today are not going to become stars because of this shit. Michael J. Fox, do you think we're going to see the next Michael J. Fox or Michael J. Fox if the same shit was happening? Yes, nepotism always existed, but to the saturated degree that it is today, do you think we're going to see the new Tom Cruise, the new Michael J. Fox? No, we're going to see the next fucking child of Paris Hilton be an actor or try to be an actor, and they're going to prop him up.
I mean, it's the concentration of wealth in elite circles. I don't want to get political. I enjoyed this movie. It was fun.
And it's time. The timer went off a while back. I was trying to let deleted know.
Grabbing it up. I do want to say, I do want to go back here into chat. There were a few people that I did not get a chance to say hello to. Daniel's Hot Topics.
Yo, what up?
DJ Play Nice. Of course, our man from the future, Sashi, who did leave a few minutes ago. Thank you for being here. Take care. My stalker, Lady B. A.A. Zathras, good to see you, sir. Connie Cleary, of course, on of YouTube, who gifted 1 membership. And congratulations to Outlaw Bill. Let's see. Thank you, Nate, for $2 super sticker. Big guys joined us, as well as There's Network is with us as well. JPRPH1 and Enigma had a question for you, Kyle, about the flight risk. We'll take care of this real quick. Says, do you think there could have been a transition out of the plane and not had the entire setting be inside the plane?
Enigma, absolutely. How you could have done that. There's a prototype to that film that I referenced in my video. Go check it out and enjoy it. Is Red Eye. They cut to scenes of the people that she's talking to on the plane so you can get some breathing room. There are numerous people in Flight Risk that Madeline, the main character, calls that they should have shot some scenes for. And they could have gotten better actors, because the actors that they do voiceover, that are doing voiceover in that film, they sound like AI, or they sound like just, actors that are not as well experienced. So yes, they could have done that, and they should have done that. And I know it was a matter of budget. Mel Gibson said that they had about 11 or 12, $13 million budget. I think you could have filmed some office sequences, and put a little bit, because he's put money into his films. You could put like $100,000 into doing that, some of those scenes, to air it out a bit. But that's just a peripheral issue with the film. There are a lot more deeper issues that are wrong with Flight Risk that I get into in my video. So everyone, please enjoy it and check that out and find out what that is.
Yes, please give that video a watch, share it out, all that good stuff. And of course, hello to Aged Boomer. Guys, I'm going to be with you very, very shortly. Okay. So Novocaine, we're pretty much kind of mixed on it.
Seems like, yeah.
I mean,
I do have to say one more. What's that?
It ain't Shawshank, but I enjoyed it.
No, it ain't Shawshank. I'll be done because I know you got to get going. Surprisingly, I won't knock. Is it Ray Nicholson? He's not bad in the film. Okay, he's not. He's not annoying. He could have been a lot more. He could have been really annoying. There are some performances of doing the bad guy thing. He's doing it in a more leisurely way and not so hard into and leaning into the hamming it up type of thing. It's better than I think it could have been a lot worse. So I'll give him props when it comes to that. See, I don't hate on the Nepo babies. If they show some merit, I will acknowledge it.
Like Margaret.
What is the? I was hoping impossible 20 more minutes out of the plane. Sorry, I didn't see the rest of that.
Sorry.
I was hoping for 20 more minutes out of the plane, but again, not my movie. Well, that is surprising to me, Enigma, because the movie it kind of drags, and I get into the reason in my video, so I won't go on about it. But yeah, go show some love to the video, and we can talk about it in the comments.
And make Kyle go viral again.
Yeah.
We all need to get some subs.
Ian. Yeah, hey, Ian. I know Ian. Flight Risk should have had the plane crash and Marshall trying to get Topher Grace to their destination on foot, with Mark hunting them through the mountains. The plane crashing in the third act, yeah, that's a thought. That is an interesting thought. But that budget would have ballooned to double. So that's why they didn't do it. Unfortunately.
Money.
I can't do it. All right. Thank you all for joining us both here in the live chat. Those of you who joined us on X, I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Novocaine. I know people are going to see it and dig it. I didn't, but decide for yourself. All right, we'll go one time around the horn. Sin, what do you have coming up?
The immediate thing is a live stream tomorrow on Sound Booth Theater, also my own channel, where we're interviewing my brother because the audiobook of his very first novel is being released or has been released. So yeah, that's the immediate thing.
All right, Paul.
So I actually have come up with a new YouTube strategy, is to put out my long form video and then cut it up by paragraph in the script into shorts. And that has netted me a hell of a lot of views. So look out for Novocaine plus related shorts beginning on Thursday. And that's the immediate. I thought I was going to put out something on the Gorge, but I think the ship has sailed on that one.
It lost its luster.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, about it.
Kyle.
Well, Flight Risk. So there's the thing that I just talked about before. So go and show some love to that in my channel as well. Thanks, guys. And in the next couple weeks, I'll be doing a sit down with a couple of my friends about classic films. There's some fireside chat versions of my impromptu view that you can check out right now. So cheers. See you in the comments. Oh, and I have a question about you, Paul. When is the next Thursday?
Oh, that's a great question. I was stupid enough
Because
to
I'm thirsty.
I know. I had scheduled it for sometime. Hold on, it was in March. I know that.
I am going to Planet Comic Con in a couple weeks.
So I wanted to do it on the 27th, following Snow White. But then I know
I'm not
But then
watching that movie. I'm not
but then
watching.
I think I might watch that movie.
Oh, you have fun. I'm not. I don't want to see your face.
Oh yeah,
No, but I
Yeah.
stupidly bought concert tickets to Nathaniel Rateliff, who does some pretty cool like folksy music. So I'm guessing
Maybe we can talk about this after Deleted has to go.
Oh, fair.
Because poor Deleted, he's got to get out of here, and we can talk
Sorry, man.
backstage.
All right.
Dude, thanks. Thanks for having me
actually,
back,
yeah.
and it's really great to talk about movies.
please.
And it's great talking movies. And
Yes,
I love it. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's
I
great.
love it. I love it so much.
Mhm. That's why we do this.
Okay.
Oh, did he- oh.
I had to get up and move about the cabin there for a moment. Okay, I am back. All right, and of course, stay here on my channel, live from Sparkwood and 21. My co-hosts, Troy Pacelli, Nutters Network, Aged Boomer, they're all here in the chat with us. We are going to be discussing part 2 of The Secret History of Twin Peaks. By Mark Frost. So stay tuned for that. Later on this week, I am going to be joining Outlaw Bill, brand new member on my channel. Thank you again, Nate. No, Connie. That was for Connie. And we are going to be watching Hard Rain for Action Theater this week with Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater, Minnie Driver, and Cousin Eddie himself, Randy Quaid, who's kind of turning into Cousin Eddie in real life. So, all right.
Yep.
So we are, any last words?
Nope.
Guys?
I got nothing.
No? Okay.
An impression of
That's
Christian
wrong.
Slater. Yeah. I think we're gonna have some problem with this hard rain.
That was a good one. It's a good one.
It kind of crosses into Jack Nicholson territory.
Yeah,
but-
I was thinking it was
No.
Jack Nicholson at first, and then I realized it was Slater.
You look at how they talk. It's similar.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, and he even said it for Heather. He was basically imitating Nicholson anyway. So,
And then he just
Christian
cut that
Slater
shit.
is an American treasure, although he might be Canadian. Is he Canadian?
how dare he? No,
See? I don't.
you son of a bitch. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Ian in the chat. Yes, I will. He's talking about hate watching Snow White. Yes. Anyway, I'll stop.
Yeah, I can't. I don't like to hate watch, so I'm passing.
Oh no! But you got to do it for the views.
I can't. That's not my makeup. I just cannot do
The
it.
views. It's all about the views. You know how many views we're gonna get?
I have a morbid
I'm sure.
curiosity about this. This is usually I don't like to do that, but
You have to.
because of the legacy of Snow White and Disney, there's something about it that is calling to me.
Oh, you gotta go, man. You gotta go. I can't wait to tear
It's
that.
gonna make
several
bank, you
new
guys, because there's a lot of normies that don't know what an idiot she has been, and they'll just go because it's Snow White and their kids want to see it. So it's gonna do well, I think. I don't think it's gonna flop.
She has
We'll
the most
see.
cringiest red
Yeah.
carpet appearance on the at the Oscars this year. If you should see, there's a clip of her posing on the red carpet. It is so fucking no words spoken because she's already done the damage with
I don't
that.
even like how
All
she
she's got to
walked
do
out
is move
present
around,
with
move her
Gal.
face. It's absurd.
Yeah,
You don't
I
check it
just,
out.
I
The
can't.
juxtaposition between Gal Gadot and
Yeah, it's like
what's
them
her face?
beside each other. Yeah.
It's like a
Like-
Lamborghini and a Ford Escort.
If I hear that she's an
Yeah.
Nepo baby, I'm gonna blow a
I
gas.
don't know. I kind of don't think she is, but
No,
No,
she's
thanks
just
for letting me
insufferable brat.
letting my blood boil with these rants. Hopefully it didn't get too hot in the stream.
It's getting hot in here.
Exactly. You got to have a theme going for that shit. Anyway, we're still going, and it's probably my fault.
Yes, we are still going.
we just gotta
quite
get
all right.
out of here.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and end it here. And as I always say at the end of every show, thank you all very much for watching. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.
Amen.
Bye, everybody.
I'm always happy when the music works.
Yeah, because that doesn't always happen.
We are not going to have a problem with copyright because
Yeah, fortunately.
the correct outro is still up.
I like the
I was like, what's
opening
this
music.
copyright?
It's a good choice.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Good night, folks.
Good night. Sweet dreams.